Hey boys, I got a little video here. I'm going to turn this fox pelt. I put it on the stretcher here last night. Oh, I don't know, 9 o'clock last night, and it's 9 o'clock this morning. So it's good and dry, but it's a little too dry. I'm down drying fur here in the basement of the house, and you know, it's more than the recommended 60 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever, so you know, foxes are just like paper, just like a rabbit skin pretty near. So when you go to turn them, if they're too dry, you know, the chance of tearing them is quite high. So I'm going to show you what I do to help me turn the hide inside out there once it's if it gets too dry. I'm sure some of you veterans, fur handlers out there, you know all about this, but this is meant for the guys just starting out, and try to help them out so they don't tear their pelts. Alright, so we got our fox pelt. We're gonna put it back on the stretcher, and then I got this old t-shirt here that you know, I just cut it so it's long. You know, you get an old bed sheet or anything would work, and I ran that under the tap, soaked it real good, and then I, you know, wringed it out real good so that this doesn't drip water. It's just damp. Doesn't matter if it's warm or cold, makes no difference. So what I'm gonna do is put the fox back on the stretcher. You don't have to pin it or nothing. Then I'm gonna wrap this around it and then wait, I don't know, about 15 minutes, and then we'll show you how she looks and how she turns after that. Okay. Okay boys, I'll just show you here. This is what it looks like. You just wrap it up. You know, I ain't got no clothespins on it or nothing. You know, it just wrapped on there. Doesn't have to be tight. And you just leave it like that for about 15 minutes or so. You know, if it was super hard and dry, like if you forgot about your pelt being on the stretcher for like over a day or something, you might have to leave it on there longer. But we're gonna wait about 15 minutes and we'll come back and we'll show you how she turns out. Okay boys, we've taken the fox back off the stretcher, took the damp t-shirt off, the rag off it, and as you can hear now, it doesn't sound like paper anymore. You know, it's quite flexible, so it'll be quite easy to turn. So I'll try to set this camera here so you can watch me turn it, and then we'll put it on the stretcher. It's not, the hide isn't wet to the touch, you know, it's not, I didn't soak it or nothing like that. It's just, it absorbed the moisture from the wet cloth, the damp cloth, just to take out the super dryness. That's all you're doing. So I'll get this camera set up here, hopefully that you can watch. Let me turn the pelt. Okay. Notice how when it was dry I tried to do that and it sounded just like paper. You could barely, well, I know if you had tried to do it, it would have tore. Like I said, foxes are pretty damn thin. They're easy to tear if you're not careful. And I hate to, you know, you go through all the trouble of going out there and catching them, skinning them, scraping them, putting them up, have it all for naught, all for being ruined, you know, right at the last stage of what you have to do to them. So there you go, he's all turned. Flip his ears out. Like that. I leave the legs inside on my coyotes and foxes, cats. You know, some guys open the legs right up and leave them hang outside. I don't do that. I don't know if there's any difference to it or not. That's just the way I do it. And plus, when you're putting it on back on the pelt or on the stretcher, you can stick your finger in the leg hole and give it a, you know, yank down on. I mean, it's not going to stretch anymore because it's already, you know, been dried. You're just centering it. It helps center it and whatnot. So I use solid boards for the coyote, fox, cats, and, you know, as you can see, I dry my furs in the basement, so they do dry pretty darn quick sometimes. And when I have to use this method, you know, I put them back on the solid stretchers and I don't have any problems with that. So hopefully this will help some of you guys that are new to trapping or putting up fur, I guess. Hopefully it helps you turn your pelts easier without tearing them. Alright boys, thanks for watching.